Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. It's that time. People, it's that time. Waiting all this time. And we're here today. It's draft day for me. I have 3 leagues that I'm drafting today. And the first one kicks off in about 2 hours. And then I have one at around 7 o'clock. And then one at 9 o'clock. Okay? One at 7 o'clock, I won this trophy. Neighborhood trophy. So what I'm going to do is this. People. We're going to be talking about running backs. And I always do this year, at this time of year, because in my mind, in my opinion, okay, I think the running back is the most important position. I know people say, oh, the quarterback, okay, that's fine. And a wide receiver, okay. I've always called the tight end a wild card because it's the tight ends, unless you get one of the top 3, are a wild card to me. They are up and down, up and down, up and down. You never know what you're going to get, okay? It's a Forrest Gump type of thing. You never know what you're going to get. So I call the tight end a wild card. But the foundation of most offenses is the running back position. I've always felt that. I felt that 10, 15 years ago when I started playing fantasy football. Started playing fantasy football in 2006, okay? Thinking that the quarterback position was the most important position. And I learned quickly, as I'm telling you, the running back position is the foundation of any offense. I don't care what kind of offense. If you can't run the ball and have the defense second guessing on what you're going to do, then the pass game is going to be lacking. It's going to be lacking because you got to have some diversity in your offense. You have to have some diversity in offense. And the best way to impose your will on the defense that the offense is going against is to run the ball. Run the ball. You keep pounding at somebody, and they're going to wear down. Regardless of who they are, they're going to eventually wear down. And then that passing game will open up. When you start running the ball, then the defense is going to be pulling up closer to the line, thinking they're going to be able to stop the run. And then you do the play action and push the ball down the field with the wide receivers and your wild card, your tight end. Okay? So it's most effective. And so that's the reason why. I started with quarterbacks earlier in the month. I do this every year. Started with quarterbacks. And I rotate between tight ends and wide receivers. What I want to do next. Last week was wide receivers. Right after quarterbacks, I did tight ends this month, and last week was wide receivers. And this week, because I feel the foundation of an offense, and including fantasy, I do the running backs. Now, I have to tell you this. I never kept track of this. It was brought to my attention. I never kept track of this. And I was surprised when this person gave me the information that my hit rate on running backs is between 70 and 80%. And I'm like, what? Really? Not thinking about it. I'm just projecting and talking about people and running backs. I go back to Arian Foster, Jamal Charles, Alvin Kamara. When Alvin Kamara was I think he was the number 1 running back. I called those, okay? Christian McCaffrey. I called Christian McCaffrey and Christian McCaffrey's injuries and Derrick Henry injuries in the following years. Last year, I told a friend of mine in one of our leagues, don't draft Christian McCaffrey. And lo and behold, he had the first pick And everybody was saying, and I was saying, no, he's not the first pick. That's last year. And what happened to Chris McCaffrey? He only played, what, 4 games? Come on. Really? So what I'm saying is this. My hit rate, and I'm not bragging, but because I said I never kept track of this. Someone brought this to my attention. I never kept track of this. My hit rate on running backs, 70 to 80%. Okay, I'm not perfect. I am not perfect. Okay, you want to call me out on I misjudged or I was wrong with Derrick Henry? No problem. I got no problem with that. I'm not a so-called expert. I don't claim to be an expert. I claim to be a person that I think I know and can judge running backs, whether they're up here or whether they're down here. I think I can judge running backs pretty well. And a friend of mine, whatever, told me my hit rate is between 70 and 80%. I'm like, oh, I was blown away from it. I'm happy with that. I'm happy, very happy with that. I want to see if I can maintain. I'm trying to maintain that. Okay. I can't get everyone right. I apologize if I don't get everything right. But I try my best as much as I can to hone my skill enough that I can hone in on at least one skill position in fantasy and give you 70, 80%. Okay, that's fine. I'm not perfect. If I was perfect, I'd be on ESPN or NFL Network, touting everything I'm talking about. Okay, I'm not there. I'm here. Okay, trying to help you to get one of these. And in order to get one of these, you have to get to the playoffs. I've said this every year, every single year. I'm trying to get you to the playoffs. I want to get you to the playoffs because anything can happen in the playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs. You can have the worst record, the best record. And either one of them can get you a championship. Either one of them can get you a championship. I've been there. I've done it. Okay? Like I said, I've been playing this since 2006. Other people have been playing it longer. No problem. Okay. God bless them. They have a little bit more experience. Okay. But let me just say this. Let me just say this. For those that are still striving to win a championship, haven't got there yet for one reason or another, if you keep doing the same thing and you're not getting the results that you want, why keep doing the same thing? You keep doing the same thing and you think the results are going to change? Maybe you have to switch up. Maybe you have to do things differently, okay, to get to the ultimate goal of winning a championship. I found that a long time ago. I am not hard and fast on what I want to do. But every draft is different. Every single, you can do mock drafts. I've suggested people do mock drafts. You get an idea of how things are going to fall, which is fine. But when the rubber meets the road, when you actually get to a draft, is when things happen. Unexpected things happen. Surprises happen. Okay? And you got to be prepared for those surprises. Okay? You got to be able to adjust on the run. Okay, so to speak. When we're talking about running backs, you got to be able to adjust on the run. Okay? So let me bring in my banners like I have all the time. And I've been doing this since quarterback, and I'm gonna do it again. One final time before I give you the running backs. This is the top 10 offenses that were in 2024 last year. Detroit Lions, Buffalo, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Washington, Philly, Green Bay, Cincinnati, Minnesota, and the LA Chargers. This is the top offenses projected this year. Top 10 offenses: Buffalo, Tampa Bay, sound familiar? Baltimore, Washington, sound familiar? Detroit, Denver, that's a new one. Philadelphia, Green Bay, Cincinnati, and KC. Okay. This is the strength of schedule. I'm going to tell you this again. It'll come in. It'll jive, or not jive, but you'll get to understand one thing or another. This is the top. This is the toughest schedules. Toughest strength of schedules for teams this year. The Giants have the worst. The lowest it is, the harder the schedule. Okay? The Bears and Lions are tied for 2. Then in Philadelphia, Dallas, Green Bay, Minnesota, Washington, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. Okay? Gather that in. And then I'm going to give you the easiest schedules, which is the higher numbers, starting from 23 and working your way to 32. And this is the easiest schedule. Buffalo, the Jaguars, Indianapolis, the New York Jets, the Jets, Arizona, Carolina, Tennessee, New England, New Orleans Saints, and the team with the easiest schedule in all of football, projected easiest schedule for all of football, is the San Francisco 49ers. Okay? Now, like I said, I'm going to go to running backs. We're going to start with running backs, starting from 24 and work my way up to number 1. Okay? And I'm going to go with the star system. You see it right there. I mean, you'll see it, right? You'll see it in front of you. 1 to 5. There are no 1s. There are 2s, 3s, and 4s. There's no 5s. But the more stars, the better the strength of schedule. Okay? The more stars, I'll say it again, the more stars, the better the strength of schedule. And I'm telling you right now, there's some surprises in here. There are some surprises. And I'm telling you why. I'll tell you why I have some surprises in here. Because it's like this. This is my list, okay? It's not hard and fast rules on my list, but this is how I see it. And I'm talking about risk versus upside versus bust, okay? Some of these guys have high probability of a bust. Some of them have high probability of upside, okay? And I'm going to try to explain to you why I think the bust is higher or the upside is higher than the bust, okay? Some of them high risk, high reward, okay? That's just the nature of the beast. They're running backs. They're running backs. Get the ball, and you got 11 guys on the defense trying to take your head off, okay, at the running back position. And it's the most sought after, I wouldn't say sought after, but the most volatile position, in the most possibly bust position in all of fantasy. There's a lot of wide receivers out there. I showed you about 20, 30 of them, 34, 30, a little more than 30 last week, including the sleepers. So we're going to talk about running backs. And I'm going to give you some sleepers after I give you and break down all 24 running backs. I'm going to, and not so much of in order, just give you a bunch of running backs to think about. Maybe fill in your bench or whatever that have some possibly high upside. Then you can do what you need to do. in your draft. Just think about it. Hopefully you did your research. I've always said this: you get in what you put in what you get out. You got to put in the work. I've said this a long time ago. I know I'm going on and on, but I'm trying to help you understand that what you put in is what you're going to get out. All right. And to me, fantasy football is 365 days a year and 366 in leap year. I'm just saying. You see this? I'm built different. Built different. Okay. Some people take it as a negative. Some people take it as a positive. Take it as a positive. I take it as a positive. Built different. I love running backs. So I'm really into getting running backs. That I think are fantasy relevant. So without further ado, let me give to you the 2025 13 to 24 fantasy running backs. At number 13, one of my favorite running backs, and let me put it this way. Alvin Kamara is on it, even at his age. He's at age 30. Strength of schedule of 7. Running back last season, he was running back 8. He was running back 8, people, on that offense. Alvin Kamara's calling card is catching the football out of the field. I mean, out of the backfield. I'm sorry. And with the quarterback situation in New Orleans, the way it is, and the team situation, the team is got one of the easiest schedules, strength of schedules in the whole NFL. Yeah. And Alvin Kamara is got a 4-star sitting there for you. 4-star. Okay. He's got one of the easiest strength of schedules in the league. His upside is high. His bust side is high. You know why? Because that team is horrible. They may be one of the worst teams in the league. Maybe one of the worst teams in the league. But you know what's going to keep Alvin Kamara alive? He's probably one of the, if not the best player on the team. And you got Kellen Moore that's going to take advantage of Alvin Kamara's PPR numbers, meaning points per reception, because he's a hell of a back coming out of the backfield, catching passes from the quarterback. That's his calling card. And the more and more he gets older, more and more he ages, that's what he's more and more effective at. You got a young quarterback. Either the young quarterback's going to be trying to dump the ball off to the tight end, in Spencer Rattler, or Alvin Kamara. And like I said, Alvin Kamara is the best friend of this young quarterback. And Kellen Moore is going to take advantage of that. Problem is this. Having a running back, a star running back like Alvin Kamara on a bad team. Teams are going to stack the box. They're going to want their quarterback, who's a young quarterback, second-year quarterback, to beat him in the air. Stacking the box. Okay. But that's not like Alvin Kamara's hasn't had that issue before. And he was running back 8 last season with big quarterback issues in New Orleans Saints. big quarterback issues. So it is what it is. That's why I like Alvin Kamara at number 13. And I should have went the other way. We'll go the other way right now. At number 24, Isaiah Pacheco. I apologize because I don't know what the heck I was thinking about. I worked my way up. Isaiah Pacheco out of that big offense in Kansas City, catching the football out of the backfield. And Isaiah Pacheco, with the more explosive offense that is projected for that team in Kansas City, with healthy wide receivers, defenses can't stack the box. And that's going to give Isaiah Pacheco more room to run, more room to operate. He's got high upside, low bust, because I think they're going to use his pass catching chops, and he runs hard, runs very hard, very, very hard at for the Kansas City Chiefs at .5'10", 216 pounds. And I'll 5'10". That's my cutoff point for running backs that I like. Over 200 pounds and 5'10", and he can run. He can run like a deer, which I'm feeling. I'm feeling that he can run like a deer, which is a good thing. Okay. At number 23, and this is. I've never liked this running back. Okay. Never liked this running back, and he's reunited with his old offensive coordinator. Now he's the head coach in Ben Johnson. And he's in Chicago, who's supposedly improved their offensive line, hopefully with better quarterback play. And strength of schedule for his running position is 13. So he's a little better than in the middle, okay? He's got a reliable starting role. He's got a little upside, just slightly big, about average upside, but he's got high bust appeal. I mean, not appeal. He's got high bust capability because he's DeAndre Swift. He's DeAndre Swift. Okay? And you got to believe that Ben Johnson is going to try to get the best of DeAndre Swift. And he's got a 3. He's average. He's average. He can go either way. And Chicago's got one of the hardest schedules in the league. I showed you that up here. I showed you that. Okay? I showed you that right here. They got the second, tied with the Lions, the second hardest schedule, strength of schedule in the league. And he's got a 3, which is average. So he can go either way, in my opinion. He can go either way. And then you have Omarion Hampton. Okay. With a 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, what the heck's wrong with me here? Then you have R.J. Harvey. Okay, I'm sorry. Jesus. I apologize. Harvey got the hardest schedule, or one of the hardest schedules in the league. He's got a 2, which is below average, but he's emerging as the popular breakout pick for people like yourselves. Now, most people agree he offers real upside. He's got a lot of upside, very high upside, and somewhat low bust appeal, low bust capability. But Sean Payton loves R.J. Harvey. He may downplay him, but I think he's going to try to use R.J. Harvey like Alvin Kamara. Now, I know they got J.K. Dobbins. Come on, man. Really? R.J. Harvey has more versatility than J.K. Dobbins. And to me, he's a lower risk of injury than J.K. Dobbins. So, everybody knows that J.K. Dobbins is Mr. Type of guy. He's a running back that gets hurt early and often. All right. Now I got R.J. Harvey. He's 5'8". He's under my threshold, but I have him down here because I think he's going to be a versatile back. I think he's going to give you decent fantasy points, RB2 type of fantasy points. Okay. Back up your stud running back. But that's what I think about R.J. Harvey. And like I said, he's got below average. He's got a 2. Okay. And then we go to one of my polarizing, and this guy is very polarizing for me. He's dealing with a 2, okay, and he's got high bust potential because you got a rookie quarterback. You think the opposing defenses aren't going to stack the box and say, "Okay, rookie, you beat us." Okay, rookie, you beat us. You got a 6 foot, 209-pound running back in Tony Pollard with a improved offensive line, with a below average strength of schedule, and high bust potential because of the factors I've talked about with a rookie quarterback, with a redone offensive line, and the defense ain't that. I mean, they're all right, but they're not a stellar defense. Let me put it that way. So the rookie may be called upon to do just that: beat opposing defenses, with the expense of Tony Pollard being not being used effectively. Okay, and let's take it like this. This is one of my favorites. One of my favorites helped me win a championship, and a lot of people blew him off, didn't like him. But he aged like fine wine. He's aging like fine wine. Let me put it this way. James Conner. James damn Conner. 30 years old. Early in his career, he couldn't stay healthy to save his life. He moved from Pittsburgh to Arizona, got some sun of the Arizona, some of that Arizona sun, and was running back 11 last season. His strength and schedule is right in between. 16, right in the middle. He's got a 3-star, which is average. And I'm telling you, people, I expect, and I said this when we went to quarterbacks, I expect this when we went to wide receivers, I expect this when we went to tight ends, that Arizona is going to be one of those surprise teams. I'm expecting a lot. I'm expecting a lot from Arizona. Expecting a lot. And I'm expecting a lot from this Arizona running back, James Conner. Okay. Let's go to running back 19. One of my surprises, and a lot of people's surprises, but not me. Not me. I was trying to get this guy up and down last season. Less up and down last season. Once their supposedly star running back went down again with a second ACL. This guy shined in that Carolina offense. He's a reliable mid-round running back whose role at Carolina as lead running back is secure. His expectations for a repeat of last year, high-end workload and fantasy finishes are tempered by concerns about increased competition from new additions. But most people agree that Chuba Hubbard should be tucked behind a much improved Panthers line. They improved the offensive line. The defense was not that bad. They had to prove what they had to do. They had to do what they had to do to improve the offense, including the offensive line. You saw the quarterbacks started playing better as things started to come together. High expectations. Carolina's got one of the easiest strength of schedules in the league. Chuba Hubbard got a 3-star rating, which is average, which is fine, but there's really no stellar defenses in the there's no stellar run defenses in the NFC South. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got the New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, and come on. There's no stellar defenses in the NFC South. Okay? No stellar defenses in NFC South. So, Chuba Hubbard should be a solid running back 2 for most of your fantasy leagues. So if you're looking around in maybe the 9th, 10th round, somewhere around there for a running back, Chuba Hubbard, right there, number 19, Chuba Hubbard. And he's only 26 years old. He's not supposedly over the hill. Okay? Let's move to the next one. And a rookie. Look at this. Look at this guy. I'm talking about Trevion Henderson. First time he touched the ball, he took it to the house. First time he touched the ball, he took it to the house in preseason. Talking about high expectations. Strength of schedule is 2. He's got one of the best strength of schedules in all fantasy. Strength of schedule is a 2. He's got 4 stars sitting there. But overall, because of strength of schedule, he's got a 2, but he's got a 4-star for his role as the running back. I got high expectations for it. You target this guy. Somebody's going to get lucky. Or somebody's going to understand that you got this guy and Ramondre Stevenson. Mike Vrabel is not going to put up with Ramondre Stevenson fumbling the football. This guy doesn't fumble. This guy does not fumble the football. Not at all. Not at all. 22 years old, right in my wheelhouse. 5'10", 202 pounds. Oh, my baby. Trevion Henderson. I won't have a chance to get him in this league because he's going to be gone within the 3rd or 4th round, and I don't have a 3rd or 4th round pick, which is fine. It is what it is. Let's move to the next running back that I like, that I really like. Oh, my God. He's got high upside, high bust on both sides. This is high risk, high reward. I know people don't like this. They don't like this at all. Okay? If I get this guy, I'm going to be a happy camper. I know he's with my former team, which I know they are pretty dysfunctional, the Jets, and Breece Hall. But Breece Hall, he is the only, and I'm going to say this again, he is the only running back in this list that has a 5. He's got the strength of schedule, the number one strength of schedule, because the Jets' easiest strength of schedule, right there, you see it. The Jets, 26. And the higher the number, the better off you are. And Jets' strength of schedule is 26. Breece Hall strength of schedule is a 5. Oh my God, that's a perfect storm. To me, that's a perfect storm. Okay. I know that there's risk. I know because of Braylon Allen, they may make it a committee. But I'm willing to take that risk. Because he can catch the ball out of the backfield. Braylon Allen is not the type of guy that is as versatile as Breece Hall. Okay? Not that type of guy that's as versatile as Breece Hall. I'm loving Breece Hall in this. I'm really looking forward to trying to grab Breece Hall. He's a good value in relation to his average draft position. His average draft position is running back 16. Okay? Running back 16. All right, let's move on to the next one we got. How about Kenneth Walker III? Another outstanding running back. Can't stay healthy. That's the issue. Yeah, Kubiak as the offensive coordinator, and he loves his running backs. He loves versatile running backs. Kenneth Walker is sitting on a 3. Okay. New Orleans has got the second easiest strength of schedule in all whole NFL. I'm trying to tell you this. There it is right there. The Saints, 31. The higher the number, the better off you are. 31. One of the easiest strength of schedules in the league. And we're talking about Kenneth Walker III. He stays healthy. Come on, man. He stays healthy. Okay, you got Zach Charbonnet. Kenneth Walker is 5'9", 211. Yeah. Let me put it this way. And I'll say this, and I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it. I said it at the time. This guy got drafted by the Washington Commanders. He may be 5'9", whatever, and whatever pounds. And he got the mindset of a running back that's 6 foot and 220. That doesn't jive. Okay, he's 5'9". Okay, he's got the meat to him. Okay. Running backs that are undersized, in my opinion, not 5'10" or above, and don't have 210 plus pounds on them, are really subject to injury. And Kenneth Walker is one of those type of backs. And when I go up the line, I'll tell you some more that I'm not too high on, that I'm leery of. Okay? But I can't be leery. This guy just got paid. He's 5'11". I don't like his weight. He's 190 pounds. He's got to put some more on there. That's Dalvin Cook. And Dalvin Cook's got a 4 on that high-powered offense. And the Buffalo Bills have one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. There it is right there. Buffalo Bills, 23. The higher the number, the easier it is. The easier the schedule. How about that? That's like a perfect storm. Another perfect storm, okay? With Dalvin Cook. Let's go to the next one of my favorite backs in Amarian Hampton. drafted second. He was the second running back drafted after Ashton Genty. To me, he should have been drafted above him. But what do I know? He's one of the intriguing rookies this year. He's a three down back, and along with in Greg Roman's offense, I'd expect him to have an immediate impact. Najee Harris just got activated this past week. He just got activated this past week. You think he's going to be ready? I don't think so. Okay? I think once this guy gets into running the football in games, Najee Harris is going to be, I wouldn't say an afterthought, but he's going to be insurance. Let me put it that way. He's going to be insurance. Okay? He's going to spell him. But I'm thinking he's going to get about 18 touches a game, which is fine. They got a very good quarterback with weapons on the outside that can stretch the defense and give a chance with Omari Hampton. I know they lost their left tackle. I understand that. Okay, they moved the right tackle over to left, trying to shore up that line. And they've been practicing because they lost the left tackle early in a training camp. So it's not like it's a quick mandate. And they're going, oh my, what are we going to do with the offensive line for blocking for Justin Herbert and for Omari Hampton out of the backfield? I like Omari Hampton. Okay. I like it. All these guys are second-round picks. RB2s. I already talked about Alvin Kamara. Okay. I went that route instead of going from back down upward. And that's why I'm going to do this. Okay. Now, people, there are some surprises in here. I'm telling you, there are some surprises in this list. 1 to 12. Okay. You're looking at this, or whoever's looking at this or going to be looking at this, understand, this is my list. This is how I see it. These guys, for one reason or another, are in the top 12. But some of these guys, you're going to say, how the hell do you have this guy above this guy or below this guy? Really? It's my list. Remember, I am not the end all to be all, but 70 to 80% hit rate. That's all I got to say. And hopefully I'm correct in giving you guys 1 to 12. All right? Here we go. At number 12, I have Devon Achane. And you're going to say, what? At number 12? Yes. He's got a 4-star rating. I understand that. He's in the Miami defense. I understand that. I mean, offense, I understand that. But the problem I have with Devon Achane and the problem he had last season, he's 5'9", less than 200 pounds. Darius Geis was undersized and couldn't hold up when he was playing. That's the same MO that Devon Achane has, in my opinion. 5'9", 191 pounds. Okay, he's a speedster. Let's catch the ball out of the backfield. Okay. If you're not available to play because of your injuries, what good are you? I hate to say it like that, but that's the bottom line. Your ability is availability, okay? If you're not available, You're just I wouldn't say drag on the team, but you're not worth what they want to pay for you. Okay? He's 5'9", people, 191 pounds. Okay? On a offense that's relying heavily on their quarterback to be healthy, who's not the stellar person of health as it is with concussions. Trust me when I say this. He may have big games in and out. I'm looking for players that are consistent with fantasy numbers week to week. That's what I'm looking for. If you're hurt, injured, or your quarterback who you rely on a lot is hurt or injured and not available to play, why would I have him higher than 12? To me, I'm stretching it at 12. To me, I'm stretching it at 12. Okay? And believe it or not, let me put it this way. Look at 11. Look at number 11, and you're going to say, come on, man. How do you have him down here at 11 when most people have him within the top 6? There's a reason. 5'8", 208 on a bad offense. Okay? Not projected to score a lot of points. Okay? I'm sorry. I know everybody who's pumping this kid up. He may have decent games sporadically throughout the season, but I don't believe it. Okay? I'm not from Missouri, but you got to show me, and then I'll say I'm wrong. You got to show me and say I'm wrong. Ashton Jeanty is not a top 6, top 5 pick in fantasy football in the running back position. No, in my opinion. A hard no. Hard no. I hate to say it. And look at number 10. Number 10. Most people have Christian McCaffrey at 4 or 5. Not me. I barely have him within the first round. Barely. He's number 10. Come on, man. Really? Okay. You're going to take a chance on Chris McCaffrey. You're going to take a chance on Chris McCaffrey. Okay? I mean, he fits my criteria of being a back who's 5'11", 210 pounds, but he's 29. He's got a huge fantasy history. I mean, huge injury history. And from high usage, you think they're not going to try to use him now? You think maybe they got Brian Robinson, maybe Isaac Guerrero, they spell him more often than not? You got to show me. I know. Well, how's he going to show you if you don't draft him, put him on your team? Well, I'm not saying don't draft him. I'm just saying be cautious. He's a high risk. He's high risk, high reward. I was talking about this before. High risk, high reward. He's gotten a 3. The San Francisco 49ers have the easiest schedule in the NFL. Okay. He's a 3 in star system for his position. But he's high risk, high bust. Okay? Buyer beware. Buyer beware. Okay? That's all I got to say. Buyer beware. At number 9 is Kyren Williams. Okay, Kyren Williams is Kyren Williams is 5'9", 210 pounds. This is the gray area in the first round. 9 to 12. Gray area. You notice I have either backs that are undersized, 5'9" or under, or backs that have a high injury risk. They're from 9 to 12. They may be first round picks, but they could easily be second round picks from where they're at. Okay? From where they're at. I know some people disagree and say, come on, man, you got these guys, they're higher than they're supposed to be. I mean, they're lower than they're supposed to be. Okay. That's your opinion. Now, my opinion is how I feel about this right now. All right. And am I biased? Yes, I'm biased against smaller backs. This is a smaller back. He's number 9. Okay. And number 8, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor. Oh, people are going to say, come on, man. Jonathan Taylor is not above CMC. Oh, yes, he is, in my opinion. I mean, he's not the epitome of health. But I take Jonathan Taylor. 5'10", 5'11", over 220 pounds, and can take the pounding, even though he's had health issues also. Most of these backs going down the lower half of the first round have some type of issue. Smaller back, injury-prone back. Okay? That's how I see it. That's how I see it. And he's got it too. He's got below average, but he's a back that's going to be relied on with Daniel Jones as the running back. Daniel Jones as the quarterback in the Indianapolis Colts. They're going to want to run the football to try to keep the ball away from the opposing offense. Okay. At number 7, one of my favorite backs on a high octane offense with a quarterback that I liked last year. I told you last year when I was talking about quarterbacks, I love Jordan Love, and I love him even more this year because the defense is going to give him, along with Micah Parsons, is going to give them more opportunity to score. And going to give him more opportunity to score. Josh Jacobs. Really? Josh Jacobs is 5'10", 223 pounds. I'm telling you, people, this makes a difference. Okay? He's got a 4. His schedule for running back position is a 4. And he goes against Detroit Lions the first game of the season. Okay. We'll see how much I think the Green Bay Packers are 1-5 against the last time they played Detroit. The last 6 games they played, they're 1-5, if I'm not mistaken. But I like Josh Jacobs in this position. I like him at number 7. At number 6, Bucky Irving. I know what you're going to say. Well, he's 5'10", 195 pounds, damn near 200 pounds. Okay, I can take that. He's on the edge. But in that offense, I'm loving Bucky Irving because he's going to be used in the pass game and the run game. Dynamic runner. Bucky Irving's my number 6. And he's got a 3-star, just average. But that's okay because he can catch the ball out of the backfield too. And it's just adding up more fantasy points for you. And out of this whole list, one of my least favorite backs, but I got to put him up here because his strength of schedule is a 10. But his team is usually comes off to a rough start. And if you're looking to invest in a running back who checks nearly all the boxes for 2025, Chase Brown stands out as a priority pick in fantasy football. He's locked in as Cincinnati's every down back coming off a breakout run as an RB1 down the stretch of last year and now faces the minimal competition in a turbocharged offense. They played their offensive players in the preseason to get off to a quick start where they habitually get off to a slow start and put themselves behind the eight ball to get into the playoffs. I'm talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. High upside, very high upside, very low bust potential in this. And he's got a 4-star strength of schedule at number 10, and he's got a 4-star at his position. Come on, man. Really? And you see who, and I spelled his name wrong. I spelled his name freaking wrong. That's okay. I'll fix it. That's okay. At number 4, I've been wrong about this guy more seasons than ever. I was right about him when he got hurt. The year he got hurt, and let me tell you, this is a crazy story, and I want to tell you this. This is about Derrick Henry. A friend of mine, okay, we're going back and forth in a conversation about Derrick Henry, and I said to him, and this is a true story. I think it was a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I said to him, Derrick Henry is not going to finish the season. By week 8, he's going to get hurt. And lo and behold, exactly week 8, Derrick Henry got hurt. Okay? And if one of your high draft picks, Derrick Henry at the time was one of the highest draft picks in the fantasy, gets hurt, regardless of what he's done prior to that, he's a bust. That's how I believe. He's a bust because he got hurt. He couldn't help to get hurt, but he got hurt, and he's a bust because when you pick a player high in your draft within the first round, you're expecting points, consistent points from the first week to the last week, regardless of when the last week is. And if he gets hurt early in the season or in the mid of the season, he's a bust. Okay? Doesn't make a difference. He didn't last a season. He's a bust. If he played 10 games, 11 games, 12 games, he's a bust. Because he didn't last. Because you're looking for that player to give you consistent points throughout the whole season, regardless if you're in the playoffs or not. You want that consistent. That's why you drafted him early. That's why you jumped in there and drafted him early. And when he doesn't do that, he's a bust. And I've been wrong about Derrick Henry for the last 2 years, 3 years. Okay, I'll fully admit it. Derrick Henry is 30-plus years old, okay? Most running backs, he's 31 years old, and most running backs don't last that long, especially big, tall running backs. Derrick Henry is 6'2" and 250 pounds plus. And most big running backs like that run upright. So he's taking some shots. He's taking some shots. Hopefully, Derrick Henry lasts this season. He's one of the oldest backs that's still playing and can produce. I got to put him number 4, okay? You know, all these backs are over either 5'10", 5'11", over 6 feet. All these top backs. You got to understand where I'm coming from here, okay? I like bigger backs. Bigger backs have a tendency to sustain or keep themselves healthy. Not all of them. As you can see how I have these guys at the lower part of the first round. Lower part of my rankings. Okay? Some of them from 9 to 12 are second-round picks. Some of these guys are second-round picks. Okay? 9, 10, 11, 12. They're second-round picks, in my opinion. Not first round. Some people are going to take them first round. I wouldn't. No way. They're undersized or injury prone, one or the other. That's the problem I have. Undersized or injury prone. Let's move on to number 3 with a 3-star with strength of schedule at the 3. High upside, very high upside, high bust potential. He just ran for over 2,000 yards. He just ran for over 2,000 yards. I know he's a bigger back. I understand that. But bigger backs have run over 2,000 yards before, and the next season is a drop-off. He's 6 feet, 233 pounds, 28 years old. He's not a young back. He's got some wear on him, and he's 28 years old, and he's ran for 2,000 yards. Okay, that's Saquon Barkley. In a high-powered offense, I can't have him. I have to have him at 3. He's not the number 1 pick, in my opinion. Not the number 1 pick. All right? He's got a 3-star, an average schedule as it pertains to the running back position. At number 2, Jahmyr Gibbs. I know some people think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be last season was running back 2, and this season I have him at running back 2. His strength of schedule is a 22, which is on the lower part, which is one of the harder ones, which is, I showed you before, that Detroit has got tied their Bears for the second hardest strength of schedule in the NFL. And Jahmyr Gibbs is reflecting that with it too. Okay? And he's also got David Montgomery to contend with and a new offensive coordinator to deal with. Is that offensive coordinator going to give Jahmyr Gibbs more of the football, or are they going to do a 50 or about a 50-50 split with David Montgomery? We don't know. We don't know. But I'm giving Jahmyr Gibbs, he's a high-profile, high points per game running back. That's why I have him at 2. And he's got a 2-star. Okay. My number 1. And most people think he's the number 1 running back, and I do too. Strength of schedule is a 5. His last season, he was a running back 3. He's 23 years old. 23 years old. Prime time for a running back to break out. He could be the perfect foundation for a league-winning fantasy season. I'm hoping in one of my leagues I have the number 1 pick. In another league, this league, well, we won this championship, I have the number 2 pick. We don't know what the guy with the number 1 pick is going to do. It is what it is. I'm projecting Bijan Robinson outside of injury. If he gets hurt, he's a bust. If he gets hurt, he's a bust. That's the bottom line. That's how I feel. You draft this guy high, and in this case, the number 1 running back, that you want to be able to have him play the beginning of the season to the end of the season. If he doesn't, he's a bust. Plain and simple. That's how I feel. I'm built different. That's what I can tell you. All right? All right, people. I have a draft in about less than an hour. My first draft. My family league draft. 2 quarterbacks, 10-team league. I got a bunch of flexes. Let me put it this way. I got, I think, 4 flex positions and 1 running back and 1 wide receiver position, and every other position is a flex with a second quarterback. It's wide open. You get a lot of flexibility. You can do what you want to do. One running back, 1 wide receiver position, and then the rest, I think 4 flex positions I have. You can put a running back in there. You can put a wide receiver in there. You can put a tight end in there. And you also have a second quarterback position, offensive player position, which you can put a quarterback in there. Okay? Wide open. A lot of versatility. That's what I and then you got to make decisions on who you want to put, where you want to put them. Plain and simple. All right, people. Next Thursday is the first game of the season. Oh, you know what? I apologize. I have 5 running backs that are sleepers in here. And they're going to be relevant sometime this season because because of injury or the type of usage that the team wants to put into play with these running backs. And I'm going to show you now. Jack Charbonnet, Caleb Johnson, Jordan Mason, Trey Benson, and Mark Crosby Merritt. If you don't know who that is, that's the running back from the Washington Commanders that the Commanders decided to get rid of Brian Robinson because of Mason Crosby Merritt ability. Okay? Man, this is not in any particular order, but these guys in one time or another will be relevant in fantasy. I'm predicting that. There's other guys out there too. And fantasy players who played for a while know them, but I'm highlighting these 5 players, just because I wanted to give what I thought of these players. Okay. With that being said, enjoy the rest of the day. I got some heavy drafting to do. 3 leagues drafting. Ooh, I'm going to have some fun today. I love fantasy football. Let me say a side note real quick. Every year, I have a tradition. Every year, I have a tradition that I want to do on draft day. Is to watch the movie Draft Day. Yep. I watched that movie since it came out every single season before I draft. It's just something I do. Just something I like to do. Watch the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner. Yep. With that being said, people, enjoy your rest of the day. Hope your drafts go well. And if you're drafting today or tomorrow or whenever, and I'll talk to you next Sunday about starts and sits. That's when I start the season, starts and sits, and who you're going to, and sleepers. Yep. I'm bringing the heat every single week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your Sunday. See ya.